My name is Edwina Mwebi, and I am a business counselor here in Mombasa with TechnoServe. I like the theme, choose to challenge, because choose, it's a choice. Like this journey it has to be intentional. You have to, it is a choice, it is intentional. You don't just imagine it will happen. So it could be the very little things, but it has to be intended, it has to be purposeful, to just address those underlying gender bias issues and equality. So choosing to challenge is good because I think it provokes that thought of taking the initiative, to speak up. I think the very main one, just generally, I think it is, I don't know, there's an aspect of culture or just general socialization or both, but in our setup, mostly decision making is left to men, or is assumed to be a man's role, such that whatever you said, if the man did not nod to it, then it is not really taken up. That's the example I was giving. Like when you go to the field and you're mobilizing and you go to the business and the woman is the one who is there, they tell you, okay, yeah, I agree, it's a nice project, but I have to run this by my husband first. And I remember one time I went to a grocery and this lady was quite excited about it, and she was like, hey, and there's no interest, hey, hiyo ni mzuri, I will ask my husband, and give me your number, and she took my number. So because of her enthusiasm, I was like, the next day I just followed up with her and I was like, hey, did you get to talk to him? And akaniambia, hiyo mzee alikataa. So despite her really, she was excited about it and she saw the opportunity for her grocery, her husband did not agree with it. And that was the case for so many businesses. They are countless. I can't even give you the number. Whenever you go to a business, they tell you, we will decide tomorrow. It was a woman you found. Or sometimes you go there and the woman is there and she will listen and like it, and then she's like, wacha niite mume wangu. Let me first call my husband, and his decision is what will carry the day. So I think that is the greatest stereotype. Decision making is for men. And I think how we can resolve this is actually through a platform like this, where we give women a chance to speak up. And just generally, the change in these conversations. It's not something that you can really, it's not a one-day thing, it's a work in progress, So if you hear it, and then it's spoken in another place, and it's spoken in another place, and that change just comes slowly. I strongly believe maybe our children will be the ones to enjoy, but from just the voice itself will make a difference. Being a mom, and then the demands of motherhood, parenting, and the demands of work, that balance that I was telling you, that is a constant shift. That I would say is one of my greatest challenge. I remember like one time my daughter nilienda kumchukua kwa rafiki yangu, and she was describing to me her friend's mom, and she's like, Mom, she's a musician, she's a footballer, she is a mom, she does business, and her mom is so cool. And I asked her, what about me? I can be a mom, you're just a work person. And so just thinking, sometimes when you're free, when you have time, you're able to be there, check her homework, take her through, But again, when you're occupied with work, you find that you will not notice most of the things just slipping through. And ukirudi unabaki zile za, okay, I didn't follow up with this, I didn't follow through with this, so this and this has happened. There's a few things, So yeah, that balance, sometimes you have it, sometimes you really don't have it. And then maybe in the context of field work, there are places where you go, and just because you are a woman, they'll be looking at you like, so what is that you are going to tell us again? Like I was giving you the case of Old Town. In Old Town, it's an Arab Muslim culture community. That's not the place. In fact, the mobilizer that I had was just taking me to female businesses. Until one day I went with Ian, and Ian would be taken to the male businesses, and I'd be taken to the female businesses. And the few men that I interacted with, they'll be listening to you like, anaiachia tu hapo. Like you're going to work, you're trying to address maybe unamwambia something related to work, and this guy is just like, si unipe number. You get? Yeah. He's just hang on, si unipe number. Ama ukitoka hapo ni sasa ulisemaje, ile registration utakuja kunifanyia. But he's getting into that line of of it. So yeah, registration anataka akafanyiwe kwa nyumba. But if you come in the company of a man and he speaks, that one is word. But if you're speaking, he's just left like, he probably will just question and question and question and question and question, and really just, okay, fine. But if it is a guy, he's very keen and attentive, you know, what is it you have to say? Yeah. So those three will come to my challenges. And it's just basically, she just speaks about like a woman can have both her career and her family life together. And well, there's different perspectives of that, but I think what a man can do, like for my husband, I think if he's more involved, he's one of those people mwenye nikijua nimemwachia mtoto, it's just fine. Then I don't have to worry from work, like how is it going with her. So I think if he's more involved in the task of just, kama tungekuwa tunashare 50-50, it will take a less weight on me, you know, when it comes to that. I think having more men speak up makes a big difference. Like, I will give an example of one project I was doing also, that we were mobilizing women, that very same project. So one of the strategies we used after a while of finding out that if you bring the women, they really don't even have the confidence to stay throughout the program because their husband said, the children did, and whatever. So we decided to, when we go for mobilization, you call men into the mobilization. Well, those are the people you're mobilizing. And once you speak to these men, then they're the ones to go out and bring their sisters, their wives, you know. So then the turnout was a bit better. And I feel like if a man can carry that, like, yeah, take the initiative to speak up, and you know, then it can make a difference. Having the platform to speak up, you know, is I think I would consider that one of the greatest achievements, and not just even to speak up, sometimes even to initiate change. Like I was working for this project where we were reaching out to empower women with entrepreneurship skills, and there was this particular group of young mothers who felt like they weren't fitting in either of these groups. You know, I don't know whether I can't really explain why, but they will not show up for these class setups actually, and they will tell you stuff like, hey, nitakuja na mtoto and I have to go and find food for this child, and so me and some two friends of mine, we started this initiative that was called Sisters Keeper, and we brought together these girls and we'd visit them at their home. It was in Miritini, and one of the girls' home would sit just in these mats and, you know, talk to them, you know, just understand what is it, you know, what opportunities or where do they feel like they can start. And since they had some entrepreneurship skills, the initiative was to help them first of all support each other, and then also to help them work through something small that they can start for themselves to support their lives, you know, and mostly in the line of business. So they were coming up with like a merry-go-round. They made contributions. Some of them started charcoal businesses. Some of them started groceries. Some of them started selling food. They would cook like this viazi karai and take it round. And yeah, so there was a difference. I saw a difference, and that was just one of it. It feels good to see someone's life, you know, change from something so small. And actually, just like you're saying, it's a conversation, literally a conversation, because sometimes someone is just stuck in the mind. It's not like they're totally stuck. And so when you just talk to this person and help them walk through and see what it is around them that they can actually just take action on, it makes a difference. So seeing those young girls grow, be more confident, be able to take charge of their lives was really one of the things I would say I'm proud of. Yeah.